I think
Another thing we have in common, these stories of women being sort of pitted against each other in like the victim's race. Like the
yeah.
public sort of wants to take two women and like pit them against each other and say who's the real victim. And it's just like, why can't we all,
Yeah.
we are all victims of this
Right.
situation. Like why are we
Yeah.
being pitted against each other in such a big and obvious way, and as tools for someone else's agenda, I think also, which is really frustrating.
Yeah.
So
Phyllis Chesler has this like interesting thing. She said that women are not immune to misogyny. And so I wonder, do you feel like in what you're saying that the pitting happens, not only from men in the patriarchy, but also in ways from the sort of internalized misogyny?
oh,
That,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember coming home and reading an article that had been written back when I was still going through the trials and everything. And it was by this author who was a young feminist writer who said, where are all the feminists in the Amanda Knox case? Like, what is going on? Why are the feminists just letting this young woman be ripped to shreds over like sexist narratives that are not proven by any kind of evidence? And it reminds me a little bit of, the show that we made together talks about not just this bad thing that happened to me, but also the relationship that I've developed with the people who put me through this experience. And one of the things that I think is true is there's a lot of, focus put on my prosecutor, who is a old Italian man who has certain ideas about womanhood, about Americans versus Italians. He's coming to this case with all of these sets of biases, but he's not the only one. And in fact, the head of the homicide division in Perugia was a woman who very early on targeted me. And I think that especially there, it's complicated by the Americans versus the Europeans vibe of it. But like there were absolutely people who were directly responsible for my wrongful conviction who were women. And on the outside of it, like some of the, biggest bloggers and writers who were talking about student killer Amanda Knox were women. And, a lot of them to this day have not like acknowledged being wrong or apologized or shown any kind of remorse for having completely torn down an innocent young girl for the sake of a headline. I think that's interesting. The Netflix documentary shows, one journalist who's a man who very obviously is bringing misogynistic narratives to the forefront and seems utterly unapologetic about it.
Yeah.
And he wasn't the only one. He was surrounded by women who were doing the same.